Hey, so we're back live. We had a little bit of a gap in some videos, but I really enjoyed doing these, and I appreciate the feedback around you enjoying them and asking for more topics. With travel last week to division meetings, as well as a Western region leadership meeting with PJ and the other DVLs, just really got away from it for a week because we filled it with in-person meetings. But I will keep doing this. I enjoy it. It's fun. I love the business, up and at 'em early each day, thinking about it, working on things. It's truly a great business that we're in and really a great group of folks that we have on our team. As you know, I work with two teams, the LA division and the Desert Mountain division. Congratulations, Desert Mountain, #1 in the company last week. That's a huge deal, huge victory. I'm a huge fan of this phrase that you can go fast alone, but further together. So fast alone, further together. And I was reading a book. Actually, the book is right here. I was reading it yesterday. The Origins of Virtue. I have a few books. I'm still moving into the new office, so don't look back there. Try not to look. Hopefully it'll be prettier in the not so distant future. But the book talks about how nature rewards collaboration, over competition. Obviously, there's something to be said for healthy competition. I am a huge believer personally. I'm always in competition with myself. I don't give a lot of energy or any energy to others that might be competing against me, I guess you could say, at anything. I think this is true even in martial arts. Some of you know that I train martial arts. When you go into a competition, I'm giving zero energy to the other person's game plan and all of my energy into executing my game plan keeps for a very clear vision of success. So a couple of topics for today's video. And I know when I first started these, I would pick a topic and end up going down a bunch of rabbit holes and all of these different things. So I'm not even going to tell you, hey, here's the one topic, because it might lead into 7 other different things as I go through this. But one thing I really wanted to point out, and it was apparent on the conference call this morning, we just sparked this reminder. We had the couple up in Canada, I believe it was, or maybe the Northeast, Northeast, made 10 sales last week. And a handful of them, I don't have the exact number, but multiple, let's call it 3, 4, maybe even 5, I don't know, 3 or more were 8th page ads. And I think that's really, really important to hone in on. Our business, is built on what is considered the backbone of America. I won't speak to Canada, but we're here in America, so we're talking about that. In the US, small businesses, right? And a huge portion of our ads are an 8th page and a quarter page. Now, I share that not because, hey, let's just go out and sell all 8th page and quarter pages. Obviously, half pages, full page, third of pages, these are great ads and a great fit for many businesses that we meet with. But in order to have a healthy business and to be on the sales report consistently 2 to 3 times per week, there's the breakdown of small, medium, and large businesses. So I was just talking to one of our great publishers in the LA division, Lana Bluth, and we were talking about how the business is really an open book test. I mean, there's literally a roadmap and manuals of how to be successful. It's like, everybody wants everybody to pass the test, not just pass it, but ace it. One of the key components of a 20% closing ratio and 2 to 3 sales per week out of 15 first appointments is having variety. 6 small, 6 medium, and 3 large. Now, I know when I say that, I almost hesitate because sometimes that can steer us towards, man, I need to spend so much time crafting the perfect prospect list to make sure I hit that ratio. All I'm going to say is naturally, if you're just prospecting the proper way, getting referrals out and about between appointments, doing drop-ins, you're naturally just going to have a prospect list that's already designed for this. Where it can be a problem is if you start shifting your prospecting list towards way too many small businesses, which would be, more than, well, actually, we just break down the numbers, 6, 6, 12, which would really be like more than a third of your list being small businesses, or more than the other third of it. I guess 2/3, 12 out of 15. That's a little bit higher. Math's a little bit off on that. Anyways, you just don't want to skew it too many large or too many small. Have a good variety. That's all I'm saying. Perfect scenario: 6 small, 6 medium, and 3 large businesses per week for the 15 first. that's one of the key components of a 20% closing ratio. You know, sometimes we give so much energy to the close in the presentation. These things are important, but they're secondary to doing everything right in the first place that sets us up for those things. There's an order of operations to success. So just wanted to talk about that a little bit. The other thing on here is, and I think this is really awesome. I'll give a couple of examples. You know, there's a lot of ideas around being very positive or being more pessimistic. And I'll tell you, in my career here at BVM and just kind of a life thing, you know, being positive helps. At least for me, it feels good. You know, can't be positive about everything all the time, I guess. But I say that because you can also be a very kind of skeptical person or abrupt. And I say this when I'm thinking about working with business owners, right, in the outside world, and still be pretty successful. Now, here's where uh, uh, we can fall into a little bit of trap, and it's called buying the lie. And it's a term that's been around for a while. And so I guess my encouragement would be, first off, to be stubborn for success, right? Sometimes in life we're stubborn about certain things. I want us to be stubborn for success in a sense of just being relentless. Perfect example of this, I can think of a time when I was sitting with a Montessori school, and the husband and wife did the appointment, said they loved it, said they were just thinking about you know, I think it was a third of a page expert or the quarter page expert, and they wanted to sit on it. So it took me, you know, a few times to ask for the second appointment. They initially, you know, some version of no, we'll call you, and, you know, politely, persistently re-ask in a new way. Hey, totally get it. It won't take much time at all. In fact, I remember one of their objections was, we won't be at this location, we'll be at the other location. And I said, no problem. I don't mind driving out there. Again, it's only going to take 5 or 10 minutes. I've got this time or this time. So, you know, eventually book the second, little bit of resistance or work to go through there. And then when I went there for the second, which was not ideal, it was, you know, 4 business days later, 5 business days later. You know, that's a long time in the advertising world or business sales world, because people are out there looking to spend money and make moves in advertising sometimes. But when I go back, I remember the parking lot being empty and me going, it's not a good sign. I walk up to the school door. I ring the doorbell because it's all locked. It's a Montessori school, private school. And uh, and then, you know, I sit there for a little bit, nobody comes. So I ring the doorbell again, and the guy comes and answers the door. And it's around lunchtime, give or take, or what was obviously his lunch, because when he answered the door, he had food on his face. And he looked at me and said, oh, you're coming back, you know, or you were coming back. And initial thought is, he totally forgot I even exist, or that I was coming back, or that I'm still here. Wow, you know, and this is an appointment that we have booked in the calendar. And I said, yeah, I know I'm a few minutes early. I always believe in, you know, showing up 5 minutes early for appointments. I think that's really important, you know, maybe a little couple minutes more. I said, yeah, I know I'm a little bit early. I don't mind waiting in the lobby. He's like, okay, hold on. And does something, lets me in. I sit in the lobby. I'm just sitting there on this couch, and he disappears. He comes back. He wiped the food off of his face. So we're making some progress here. We're in a good spot. And then he pulls a paper calendar off of the wall and looks at it and goes, it's like a little, you know, hanging calendar, and goes, oh yeah, you were in the calendar. I'm like, oh, at least there's some reprieve that I didn't just randomly show up. And he does remember that we had an appointment. And then he looks at the pricing sheet, right? This is when we wrote things on paper. And he said, is this the monthly or the annual amount? Now, I don't know what you're thinking right now, but I can tell you, so far, all of these signs are pointing to, guy's not interested, doesn't even remember I'm coming back. He doesn't even know if the pricing is monthly or annual. It would be very easy for me to lose hope in this sale at this point, right? Or kind of toss it out. But when I say be stubborn for success, I mean in these types of situations, or anytime you encounter something like this, being positively stubborn towards creating the deal. So very simply answered, that's the monthly. And he looked at it and said, okay, great. And I said, it's great to be here with you again. Which one did you decide to do? And he goes, we'll take the third. Boom, just like that, right? Simple, positive. Which one did you decide to go with? Which one decided to do it? I might said go with, and got a deal. But there were all these little things that lead up to it that could have steered me away. I've been like, oh man, this guy's not interested. See you later. So I wish for everyone that in these scenarios, when we encounter these obstacles or what could be signs on the road trying to steer us in a different direction, that we stay stubborn for success. Meet with the right types of businesses, the right size, the right mixes of business, right mix of businesses for 15 first appointments a week. Stay stubborn for success. And it's Tuesday right now. There's plenty of the time on the clock to get some yeses today. If you don't have your 3, I know many of you do. I've been talking to you all on the phone today. I'm here. I'm gonna call some folks in our training class right now. I'm just very excited to be part of these 2 high functioning teams filled with great people. Hope you enjoyed. Send me some more ideas for tips and things that you'd like discussed.